We'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Thank everyone for being here. We'll move right into our monthly building awards.
Dr. Brad, you want to go first?
All right, so each month now, we have started giving a K through 2 student award and a 3 through 6 student of the month award, and then a staff of the month award. So first of all, I want to start out with my staff of the month and read what one of their coworkers said about them. Huge appreciation to this staff member for always putting students first, whether it's pulling small groups, checking in to see how she can help, or simply being a supportive listening ear. This person goes above and beyond every single day. Her positivity, dedication, and drive to make each day a good one do not go unnoticed. Thank you for being such a strong support system for both students and staff. You're a true difference maker. And I have one more thing to say about this person. I believe this person deserves to be recognized as a staff member of the month because she truly goes above and beyond her role as a math interventionist. She doesn't just focus on her assigned students. She's constantly looking for ways to support everyone. She steps into classrooms where she needs help, where they need help with lessons and intervention, and checks in often to ask, you need anything or how can I help? She's the kind of teammate who makes you feel supported and never alone. She advocates for students when she sees a need that isn't being met and always has their best interest at heart. Her willingness to jump in wherever she's needed, her positive attitude, and her genuine care for both students and staff makes such a difference in our building. She leads with kindness, initiative, and heart, and that's what makes her so deserving of this recognition. And I want to say a huge thank you to her as well because she has stepped in and helped me big time with helping better the needs of our kids in our building, and that goes to Miss Kathy Bird. And I have a gift card from Nick's for her as well, and thank you to Miss Mandy. Thank you. Our next student, one of the teachers wrote about him. He's in 5th grade. He was always helpful in the art room. And this is from Miss Katniss. The other teacher nominated him because she says, this is not even one of my students, but he's a 5th grader that's on our student council. He's always very well behaved anytime I see him in the hallway or during our meetings for student council. He has a great attitude and is always willing to help other teachers and peers whenever he can. After school this past weekend, he is a student who happened to notice that the 5-6 building door was not fully shut and reported it out of concern. He exuberates what it means to be a bison, and I feel he deserves it. And if you know what a bison is, that's our acronym in our building in order to receive bison bucks. And that goes to Griffin Hinkle. Our next student is a 1st grader. This student is a 1st grader in Miss Campbell's classroom. He's always working his hardest to do his very best work. He is helpful to his teachers and his classmates. He's kind to others and respectful to his teacher. Beckett is a great example of what it means to be a bison. Beckett Smith. Miss August.
And he did really well.
Yes, he did. Thank you. Thank you.
So, at the high school, we do things a little different. We're gonna alternate student of the month and teacher of the month every other month. But this month, I started out with the teacher of the month, and it was something that I myself chose, and I did so because I felt like this person deserves more recognition that she's often given. If you've never had 28 kids, 8th grade through 12th grade in a class trying to cook grilled cheese sandwiches, you don't know what, I mean, come on, because it's quite.
I welcome your participation.
But not only that, she really does a great job. 28 kids in a classroom is tough, and it's even more tough when you're trying to teach them how to cook, how to measure food, how to take care of children, how to just do all the things that we as people and as humans need to know how to do in order to survive in life. And that's why I wanted to give this month's Teacher of the Month award to Ms. Wilson. She just is a great staff member to have. She's always willing to do anything that we ask of her, and even do the things that you don't want to do. But the fun stuff too, like potlucks, like we're going to have a fall festival potluck October 31st. It's Mexican food, so if anybody wants to donate, come on ahead. But I just can't thank her enough for just being here and being a person that I can count on to do whatever it is I need or ask her to do. So.
So thanks to all the teachers and the students. At this time, we're gonna move forward with our meeting. Y'all are free to go if you want to, or y'all can sit through it. It doesn't matter.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for coming and congratulations.
Thank you.
Very special.
You know how to do it.
She takes a picture every day.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, we'll move into the accepting of the previous minutes from the scheduled board meeting on 9/8. Anybody have any questions on those? Have those in the packet?
Motion.
I will second the motion.
All right, Mr. Baker made a motion to accept the minutes from the previous regular scheduled board meeting on 9/8. Ms. Terry seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Now, previous expenditures.
If you look at the sheet that the two together starts with the 1,000 that we always look at every month, I want you see a lot of negatives on those in that 2,000, and also on the back page where it's in the 6,000s. Just kind of go through all those. You see that there's a lot. Most of that is federal money that we started receiving a little bit of it, but we've not received near enough. The other, the state school safety grant, you see the -51. We finally got everything completed with everything, and we've sent that in, so that'll come down, and we still have to pay 10,000, so we'll still have that there that the district had to pick up for the gating, the gates and the fence around the districts. But the rest of that you'll see again in the 6,000s. That's all federal money that you see that we're spending, but we haven't got it all in yet. And then with this shutdown, who knows kind of how much longer that's going to take to even see even more of that. Because I think they're talking now that a lot of those people are getting furloughed or non-rehired, I guess would be another way to put that. But you see that there though, so.
Now, the SPED state preschool?
Yep.
Okay, we will get that money? Okay. Thank you.
We've only gotten, like I said, you see, we've only received 4,500 of it, so.
Okay.
How are you looking compared, like, this time last year to this year?
Overall,
Yeah.
I had to bring my folder. Overall, at the end of September, at the end of September, we had $197,000 more total dollars than we did at the end of last September. So that's everything though. That's not just federal money.
Right.
Operating, that's everything.
Anybody have any other questions on that? I'll make a motion to accept the expenditure as presented.
Second.
All right, I made a motion to accept the previous expenditure. Mr. Adams seconded that motion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We'll move, Mr. Jack ahead of executive session.
So since Jack's here, I don't want to have to sit through everything. He's here to discuss our loan for the HVAC. And also, I kind of want to say that for some of you may have never met Jack. But if you've never met Jack, this is going to be the only time you get to meet Jack. Because he's sailing off in the sunset on us, so. He's been a good one, and I've only been around a year and a half, and I know when I first got hired, Jack, you guys called me up there, and you fed me really well, I will admit that, but.
That's the first thing you always gotta do.
Yeah, but, like, just the stuff I learned in one meeting with you, and I can't remember her name. Leanne it set me up on a good track for us financially, so that I'll forever be grateful for you, Jack, I appreciate that.
More than welcome.
But I'm gonna let Jack take over, kind of discuss the HVAC loan stuff, I'll pass these out.
I don't wanna stand in front of anybody, so. Anyway, great to be with y'all, and BJ's right. Of course, Mr. Jones, Mr. Ellis, Mr. Carter, y'all have been on the board the longest, and I think the last time we were here before you all was in 2020, which was your last financing, and Leanne, who BJ's talking about, was my partner at the time, and she's now my boss. And what he's talking about, I finally got my Medicare card, so I've just decided that January 4th, after 36 years at Stevens, I'm gonna see take that next chapter. So I appreciate being here. It's really kind of odd. I really had this meeting on for tomorrow night on my calendar, and I had a conflict. So Michael McBride, who's going to be working with the district, was going to come to the meeting, and luckily BJ texted me to make sure that Michael was going to be here tonight. I said, no, he's not. I'm coming, so I'm really glad to be here. So just appreciate it very much. So yes, we sold, we put out for competitive sale your installment contract. The bidders had a choice to do what we call an installment contract, which is nothing more than an installment loan, like what we all do when we go buy a car, you make installment payments once a month or once a year, whatever the case may be. Or they could do a post-dated warrant. Has anybody ever heard the term post-dated warrant? School districts are the only governmental entity in our state that can do a post-dated warrant, and all a post-dated warrant is a post-dated check. And so if you'd have done a 10-year repayment term, and business managers hate post-dated warrants because it takes the checks out of sequence and all that. Plus, if you change banks, you got to be sure to change your warrants, otherwise the checks will bounce. But the lender takes those post-dated checks, and then once a year on their anniversary date, they take those checks out and they cash them. But they just haven't been used much in recent times, so the installment contract was the best route to go. And so if you take a look at what I've sent you, this is kind of a breakdown of what your loan is. Of course, our objective was to net $360,000 for HVAC for the gym. It was a bond issue size of a non-bonded debt, and it's called non-bonded debt because it's secured by the operating revenues of the district, whereas your bonded debt is secured by your debt service bills approved by the voters of the district. And so the goal, of course, was to net you all $360,000. The cost of issuance was $6,500, which represented bond attorney's fees for proving the opinion that the loan is tax exempt to the lender. So Cadence Bank is the lender, so the interest income that they receive will be state and federally tax exempt. And you can see that the best bid we received was 5.02%. And if you look at page 6 of this handout, you can see what your payments look like. And you will be making just annual payments for 10 years. On your bond issues, you make interest payments twice a year and principal payments once a year. But this is an annual payment with your first payment November 18th of 2026. So it'll be a year from now, which of course your closing date is November 18th, 2025. And that's when the funds will be sent to the district. We have a 1-year call option, so what that means, after the first year, you can prepay the loan if you choose to prepay it. It doesn't have to be the whole amount, it can be part of it or partial, whatever, but you have the opportunity that you can prepay if you want to. And so we got 2 bids on the loan, I'll point those out to you in just a minute. I wouldn't read anything into that, to be honest with you, because a lot of times in our world, $360,000 is a tremendous amount of money, but for lenders, they typically like bigger amounts, and so I was very thankful that Cadence and First Horizon came in with bids, but when you see the First Horizon bid, that was clearly not anything we were gonna accept. And, so this is a breakdown of what your installment contract will look like. So let me stop, see if there are any questions. No questions? All right, if I can, then let me pass out, this is the resolution. This is what will require formal action by the board to proceed forward with. And I'm just gonna summarize the main bullet points of this document. And while Mr. Green is passing it out again, this is a loan. It's backed basically by the full faith and credit of the school district. The lender benefits from what we call the Arkansas State Enhancement Program, which what that means is that if for any reason the district can't make the payment, then the state will make the payment on the district's behalf, and then the district will owe the state those funds. And so if this were a bond issue, that would receive a AA rating, which is what the state enhancement is based on. So school loans are typically some of the securest that you'll find in the state. So if you look at the front page of this installment contract, you'll see that the amount is $366,500. You'll see that the two bids were Cadence Bank and First Horizon. Cadence Bank at a 502 and First Horizon at 6.99. I'll be honest with you, I was really surprised by that, how high it was. And I know the banker, and I called him. I was gonna chew him out, but he never called me back. So I was really surprised by that. The breakdown that you see under Section 3 is your principal and interest payments each year. And of course, on the first handout, I showed you what your total annual payment would be. And then at the bottom of that page is your call option, which can be prepaid at any time in whole or in part on after November 18, 2026. Everything else in this document talks about that you're not going to do private business use, that it's going to be used for school purposes, it's not going to be used for private activity, that it's going to be what we call bank qualified, which means you are going to borrow less than $10 million in this calendar year. And so it gives the banks an incentive to purchase your loan, state fairly tax exempt. You're going to spend the money within 3 years, which I think is going to be a lot quicker than that. And that's really kind of some of the high points that I wanted to mention to you all. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. And of course, I realize that you're getting this resolution for the first time right now, so please feel free to take your time and look through it. And if you have any questions, we'll be sure to answer them.
So if the 7% was the only offer, would we have to accept that?
We rejected it.
Okay.
No, you have the ability to, you could reject this one too, but we would have definitely rejected the 7%. Because I talked with our trading desk and about what was reasonable, and that would definitely not have been reasonable. And I think in all honesty, I think it was size, just because, when they go through the effort of going through their bank loan review committee, they just like it to be bigger, because they'll show this on their books as a loan and not as a bond. But no, we would have definitely, I would have recommended BJ to reject it and come back and do it again.
Did we reach out to Bank of England?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we called all the local banks,
Yes.
and I called some of the others like Participate Regions and Simmons and others, the ones that we usually see. And they really like two things. 7 years is about as long as they like to go, and then they like the size because of the time and effort that they put into it. They want it, I hate to say it this way, but to be worth a while, if that makes any sense. So I think it was very appropriate that your all's bank submitted a bid for the installment contract. And they accepted a 1-year call, which a lot of times they like to have a 5-year call or a 3-year call on something like this. So they know that it can be prepaid at any time after the first year.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here to explain.
My pleasure. I want to make sure we answer all your questions. Thank you, Adam. Are there any other questions? So the next step would be if you all were to proceed forward with the installment loan, then of course we would just need a motion and a second to approve the resolution.
So I'll make the motion, or I'll ask that you approve the HVAC loan from Cadence Bank with yearly installments up for 10 years for $47,509.54 for 10 years. That'll be what I asked you guys to approve. And on another note, I think the end of the week is when they're gonna start dismantling the north unit on the gym, because the north unit is in, and they're gonna go ahead and start installing that. So they're gonna actually not install it one time like they told us they were going to, but they're gonna still keep it the same price, so we'll have some heat coming up when it gets started getting cold.
Do we wanna take that action now, or, cause later in the agenda, like the action item for voting on this?
I mean, we could vote on it now.
I mean, while we're doing it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just go?
I make the motion.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
I'll second.
Lightly done. Hang on a second. Just quick.
Brittany seconded. All right, Ms. Megan made a motion to approve the HVAC loan from Cadence Bank in the total amount of $475,095.38. The yearly payment is $47,509.54 for 10 years. Noted that we can pay this off at any time after the first of 27 with no payment fee. Whitney, second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Mr. Carter, can I take about 30 seconds to get some signatures from you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Crouch?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Crouch, I'm gonna owe you an apology, okay? I don't know where this came from.
You got a new name?
But the one time they put your name down, I'll tell you who they put down for you.
It wasn't,
Green done it.
it wasn't me.
I can't, I just don't know where it came from. I mean, because everything else, your name is right, but does the name, you know,
Aaron took.
yeah, Aaron Took mean anything to you? Well, Aaron Took, this is the strangest thing. Aaron Took, Tooke, is the Deputy Commandant for Information of the United States Marine Corps.
Oh, look at me.
I've done it.
I don't know what to tell you, but I'll find out and let you know where that came from.
Okay, you
I
do
think
that.
it's so bizarre. But on this one, it's correct. You'll sign right there,
Okay.
and I'll fill in how everybody voted.
I say we blame it on Leanne.
You sign right there.
Yeah,
That's how-
Leanne, poor Leanne.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I think we
Yeah.
blame it on Leanne.
And that is how we notify the IRS that you have this tax return. And also, we'll file this in the filing for you as well. Then this is your bond, but it's one certificate. And you'll sign as secretary, and Carter will sign as president. This is for you, this is the registration form, this is what we see in the department, it's nothing more than your payment schedule. Sign right there. This is what we call the cross receipts. It basically, we're gonna give the contract to the bank, and the bank's gonna give you the money. That's what this certificate says. Carter's tax certificate, it's on there. Actually says, we're gonna spend the money in 3 years, and it's all gonna be for government purposes. And then this, second to last, this is the authorization for total state aid, just goes for you, right there, if the district doesn't make the payment, the state will make it for you. And this is where you become Aaron Took.
Okay.
I tell you.
Do I need to sign it?
No, do not sign it there. I'm gonna wipe that out, but I just don't like me, I don't know where that came from. You sign right there. You know, so when I Google it, I'm thinking it's gonna show up somebody from Carlisle, and it didn't. All right, that's everything.
Mr. Jack, congratulations on your
Thank you,
retirement.
congratulations.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. I wish I had met y'all before
Thank you.
tonight, but, my.
Tell Leanne Brandon Parker.
I will do so, I will do so. Michael McBride, I'm gonna bring Michael up to meet BJ and the team. Michael's a great banker, he's been with us 15+ years. His dad, Mark McBride, I don't know if any of y'all might remember that name, used to run our department for 18 years and with Stevens for over 40 years, and he'll do a great job, so we'll make sure we'll take care of it. And if you don't like him, we'll call Lee and we'll change it.
Okay.
So, thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, BJ.
Enjoy your retirement.
I appreciate it.
Enjoy your retirement, sir.
Tell Mr. Knapp we said hello.
I will. Y'all have a great evening.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, at this time, 6:26, we will move into executive session to discuss personnel. All right, we'll return to the executive session at 6:45. Moving to personnel and classified resignation.
The first resignation, I want to recommend that you approve the resignation of Linda Whiteside as a special education paraprofessional effective September 23rd, 2025. Ms. Whiteside's a very good employee, and we hated to see her leave, so.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Hatter made the motion to approve the resignation of Ms. Linda Whiteside as elementary special education paraprofessional effective on 9/23. Whitney seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
The next is certified resignation. I'm going to ask that you approve the resignation of Bonnie Herring as the 504 coordinator position effective immediately.
I make the motion.
Second.
Ms. Manning made a motion to approve the resignation of Ms. Bonnie Herring as the 504 coordinator effective for 9/15/25. Ms. Megan seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
The last personnel item is I'm going to recommend that you approve Nicole Stivers to take over the position of District 504 coordinator.
I make the motion.
I second the motion.
Ms. Manning made a motion to approve the hiring of Nicole Stivers as 504 coordinator effective 9/15/25. Ms. Sherry seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. That's not my legal name. I'm gonna get all kinds of trouble with this one.
We're moving to new business, board voting
Yeah.
rep for ASBA.
Yes, we need to have a voting rep for the 2025-26 ASBA representative, and currently it is Mr. Jeremy Carter.
I mean, I gotta go up and get minutes, so if y'all want me to do it, I'll do the minutes.
I'll make a motion to make Jeremy Carter.
I will second that motion. Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
I already made a motion to approve me as the 25-26 ASBA board voting representative. Ms. Sherry seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
The next is the 2025 taxable millage rate. Funny story on this, they sent it to us, and we were looking at it, and I thought, what did they say, like 11.2 mils for our debt service?
36, no, 11.2,
Yeah,
yes.
so we were looking at it, and they went to sign it, and debt service, it had us listed as 11.6 mils when we're 17, so all this is it just shows what our mills are, which is 42. We get 25 guaranteed from the state of Arkansas, and then we get 17 from our debt service mills to equal 42. So I just ask that you approve this for the 2025 taxable millage rate.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Megan made a motion to approve the 25 taxable millage rate for, but not change. Whitney seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
The last action item is a board-to-board transfer. This student's going to be a senior, and he's going to be coming to us from Greenbrier. So I'm going to ask that you approve the board-to-board transfer.
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Sherry made a motion to approve the board transfer of a senior student from Greenbrier School District to Carlisle School District. I seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I'll pass that paperwork now.
The only non-action item is our free and reduced percentage that I want to talk about. I'm really excited. First and foremost, I want to thank Ms. Tammy and Ms. Marvel for getting our, is it Cycle 2? Cycle 2 closed, I think faster than they've ever closed it. Because once you close Cycle 2, you lock in your free and reduced percentage, and we locked our free and reduced percentage in at 71.31%. So, I mean, that's the difference of about probably $240,000 to $260,000 next school year. I know I did mention to some of you in the previous about the CEP program. about locking it in, and talked to more superintendents about that. And at that percentage, it's not worth us locking it in
Yeah.
because of the percentage that we have to pay. We end up losing more of it than what we really gained. So we're just gonna keep that where it's at and then try again next year to hit that 70% mark. So again, I want to thank those two ladies and all of you guys that were on the board that kind of helped us do some things too, and all of our staff over here that made phone calls and things like that to make sure we were reaching out to everybody. So
At the appropriate time when we come through to whatever meeting it is, when we start looking at next year's planning, I would like for us to talk about what the strategy is in communication and getting folks to A, understand what this is, the form. It's not just free and reduced, face value free and reduced lunch, but what it means for our district, even if they don't qualify with just filling out the form. But at some point, whether that be like January, February, or whatever it is, because starting in July is a little late. We need a plan together for when there's orientation, or when you have those touch points with the parent guardians, that you can be able to do that. So I don't know if that's in the form of a committee that we talk about that, or if that's something we just talk about at a board meeting at some point, but and with building administrators and folks involved in that, but to really, so it's not such a crunch of trying to get that number, because it is very important. The fact that we're getting students that need to be in that program on that program, and two, what it means for our school district financially.
We can add that into, at the beginning of the year, I have to have a Title I. We can add that into that presentation when we start meeting as a Title I committee. And figuring out how we can do that and reach out to the businesses and the people.
So you're only locked in for 1 year?
1 year. We'll get it next year, and then we'll have to do kind of what Megan's talking about to make sure people understand. But if we can do that during that Title I meeting.
And maybe, school board as a whole set up an open house. And, grab the parents as soon as they, come in. That's just a
And this year we did the Title I meeting right before open house. And we just need to advertise that better and let people know exactly what that is.
Right.
Any other questions before we start the report to the public?
3 slides each.
3 slides each.
Dr. Bratton
I'm
had
good.
300 at one time.
Just like to be informative.
Our numbers, 617, that's up,
I
correct?
didn't hear you.
Our numbers as of 10/8/25.
Yes. 617, we're gonna hit all of it.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
But yeah, we are up.
Maybe.
All right, so this, all right, so our 2025 annual report to the public. This is just stating what we have to do each year annually, explain policies, programs, and goals to the community in a public meeting that provides opportunities for parents and other members of the community to ask questions and make suggestions concerning the school program. This is just our welcome, our board members, our administrative team, Ms. Alkis and Dr. Bratton, and our LEA is Ms. Stivers.
Who's not on there?
It's not on there. Our district's mission to ensure our students' future success through learning, growing, and reaching new heights. Our new staff at the high school, we had a 7th and 8th grade teacher, Ms. Star Isabel. One of our history teachers, Mr. Colin Hines. 8th grade in physical science, Ms. Shauna Harner. And then a coach, Lawson Wilkins, 7th and 8th grade history. And then Coach B.J. Harrison doing East in coaching. And then at the elementary, our only new staff member was Brooke McFarland, paraprofessional. Accreditation, just talking about the district operates free from fiscal and academic or facility distress. All schools in the Carlisle School District are fully accredited with no citations by the Arkansas Department of Secondary and Elementary Education. And this is just a school choice explaining everything and have to be turned in by that date. So, Title I funding, actually we just discussed the Title I funding. Used primarily for employee salaries, but Carlisle School allocates $2,000 to each building in the district for parental and family engagement, family fun night, informational meetings with counselors. And I think, are you still doing? No, Dr. Brett, the football, you're not doing that? Okay, never This is our annual report for facilities. Current considerations, again, we still have the new elementary school. I think a couple months ago, we approved the moving forward of trying to get matching funds from the State Department. Our current projects, HVAC units in the high school gym. Again, ongoing repairs of HVAC units across the district, but again, the one thing we talked about, Jason came over this afternoon, and most hoping by the end of the week, they're gonna be starting to take down the north unit and moving the new unit in soon within the next 2 weeks, so.
Is HVAC our only problem? I know it's the only one we talk about. Is that just the most major problem?
That's the
or is
most
there-
major.
Okay.
Another problem that I could talk to you about, probably until we were blue in the face, is our alarm systems. We've moved and we've changed, and it's been a lot better. We had people that would come in, keep coming in and saying they were fixing things and things weren't getting fixed, but we changed to another company, and they've done a really good job of getting things up and running to keep us in the right place there. Again, completed projects, we have none there.
Well, we've done some things to change phones.
But, yeah, definitely
intercom.
Operating fund, our ending balance for the 24-25 fiscal year was $1,002,747. Again, that's not counting our building fund. And then $337,353 of that is wrapped up in CDs. We have $665,394 in cash on hand, which is up $392,874 from the previous year. So we're excited about that. We definitely have going in the right direction there. Building fund, ending of last school year, we ended at $1,560,994. That's exact same as the year before, so this is the first time, and I think what we can go back is at least 6 years that we've not used the building fund to operate. So that's a big testament to all of our people, everybody in this room, and I'm excited to say that it stayed the same and we didn't use it. So local revenue, which is our school bills, you can see our valuation has gone up every year. Now we're at 91,593. So basically what this means is so we get $91,593 per meal is how much money we get from the state, and then our debt service bill. So that's what that number is.
Say
right
that
there.
again.
We get 91,000, that top number where it says 24, that was our assessment, or what our valuation on was for last year.
Okay.
So we received 91,593 per meal, and we have 42 meals.
Right.
25 of those are guaranteed, and then 17 is what we have in our tax money. Then our enrollment, talking about that. So this school year, and this is from last year to this year at the same time, elementary, we are now, this year we're at 335, we're up 8 kids. Our high school is at 282, we're up 3. 617 K through 12, we're up 11 there. And then you have 58 in pre-K, which is 1 more than we had last year. Total of 675, so we're up 12 kids at this time. Now I want to be clear, remember, we're funded off of average daily membership. This is just our total registered enrollment. So this is not saying that what's our average daily membership is going to be. That's just our total enrollment of kids, but it is up 11 kids, so that is a good thing.
That's not included our,
The ALA.
Yes, that's including ALE, and that's also including the kids that we've gotten back so far, which I think it's only 5.
virtual, it doesn't count.
It does count those.
Okay,
It does count those.
So the 91,000 on the previous slide, where does that number come from?
That is a tax number, and I can't tell you where, it's just evaluations of what, I guess, our tax evaluations are. I don't wanna tell you lies, I don't know the total.
Is it like what taxable, what people should be paying, like
I
what
think
the
it's what it should
property?
be
Yes.
paying.
Because they did a reassessment a couple years
Did
ago,
you
and
see it right
yeah,
there?
all the counties, because I was in the governor's office
Yeah.
when that happened, and it was crazy.
That 80 to 90.
Yeah.
So is that the total value of things in our district?
How I understand it, that it is that,
Okay.
and what people are getting taxed on now, we may not get all that.
Right.
So we'll for sure get the 25 one,
Yes.
but the 17 is on who pays and does not pay
I'm gonna
taxes.
pay
Yes.
my 17 tomorrow.
Because that's what we were negative $198,000 from that last year, because we did not receive, everyone did not.
So and again, I think we've talked about that in a previous meeting before, we did not get all the money that we should have in taxes last
Yes.
year.
But did we get more than we got the year before?
Yes, we got more than we got the year before, it's just we did not get all that we were scheduled to get.
Because you look at that, there's a big jump from 22 to 23.
And that's what
That's
Ms.
what I
Major
was
was
saying,
talking
is
about.
when they reassess the property values.
Well, but the point of that is we're not gonna get that jump again.
No, we're not gonna get that 10,000.
So anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it is still good though that it continues to go up, even with knowing that we're not gonna get that.
All right, I got a question on this, the enrollment. So you said funding's based on the average,
Daily membership.
so that's why attendance.
Attendance is
That's
huge.
one, okay.
Yeah.
What is attendance looking
Well, high school, I look at, because
I'm
it's,
about to give you a bar graph.
okay.
like? Okay.
I can tell you, high school is a lot better than what it has
It's
been.
been a long-
Because Marvel sends out, I still get the who's absent, so that number is a lot lower.
I couldn't tell
She'll
you
have to tell you,
exactly
because I don't
like
see it on a daily
what
basis.
our
So are we
age-
making calls or anything?
They do a call out.
I've had several meetings with parents this year about, and ours is not necessarily about ADM, but it's more about credits, like.
Yeah.
Cause we drop, and you know this, we drop credit from kids at absent number 10, like on that 10th absent, you've lost credit.
Y'all do also now compared in the past. I mean, you send a phone call.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Text
And I
it.
think that's helped a lot
Or
too, it's
target.
taken
I
through our
think
parents.
it's gotta help
and
some.
the email too, yeah.
Because sometimes parents don't even know if a kid's tardy.
Well,
mean,
and
you
I
don't tell
think, I
them.
think when you see how much your kid is absent because somebody is like alerting you about it, I think there's a difference, because, you know, when you keep your kid home, oh, they're just sick, they don't feel good today. But now that we're actually sending those alerts out, it's become better, so.
What about teacher attendance? I know we talked about that as being a big thing.
It is a big thing, and we were really low, really under last year, and they did a really good job. And it also helps that Coach Stewart takes on a lot at the high school, so we don't have to get subs. And we keep an eye on that weekly. I think the last 3 weeks I've contacted them because it has been a little higher than what it was. So we are definitely watching that, and both of them put a really good email out to their staff, you know, and explaining that there are days, there are days to take, but making sure that we're doing good by them.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think we have teachers that just miss to miss to miss, but.
I mean, you know
at the
when
high
there's a leave
school-
abuser.
At the high school, it's a lot different, because like we have teachers missing for sports and teachers
Yeah.
missing for school business stuff, like Miss Balker is gone a lot, and of course, you know, she's working still, right, but we still have to cover that with a sub. And that's what he's looking at when he tells me, you know, we've spent this much money. and
Now,
that's-
I look at each person that's on that list, thank you.
I know you do, but I'm just saying.
We keep up with it in our buildings, like who's
We
missed
do.
how many days and what they take in.
I mean, those are our benefits, so people look like that's what they should do, but then, I mean, you can tell when there's leave abuse going on though too.
Right.
What's our policy as far as attendance for teachers?
Well, they get 9 days a year,
And then two personal.
and two personal to take. So they can take those days, but, you know, it's better if you don't, if you save your days. You know, we've got people in our district that take every single day they get, and we have people in our district that have 90-something days saved up. So, you know, it's just, I guess, a matter of personal preference.
So the actual policy though, if you're taking a personal day, you have to give 24 hours in advance to the principal, the building principal, and they can approve that or not approve that. And also, it states that we do not have to allow you to take a day off, or a personal day, the day before we're out of school or a holiday. And then on our or you take a sick day, it's in policy now. We don't do this unless it's become habitual, but we can ask for a teacher to turn in a doctor's note anytime they take a sick day.
So what happens at the 10th day?
Well, if
Start doctor.
they don't have any more days, they start getting docked. But I will say, the majority of our teachers have well over the normal number of absent persons.
So when you say dockage, is that like a percentage of the salary?
It's their daily rate.
It's their daily rate of pay. Whatever their daily rate of pay is, they're docked at. Okay.
What is Stuart Southern like? What classes does he sub most?
Well, we just, so when we have a sub and we can't find a sub, we send them to the gym. So that's what
Oh,
he's saying.
okay.
And that's another issue, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not, there's
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's-
days that we don't have subs, because we don't have subs. Not just because we're sticking them down there.
And I mean, you know, it's a double-edged sword, so yeah, we're saving money on subs, but also the kids are going up there and sitting in the
Right,
gym
yeah.
and not doing anything. So,
Right.
you know, and I don't let kids get on Chromebooks and stuff whenever there's a sub, or if they go to the gym, because there's just no way to monitor that, you know, and so, you know, you look, it's good on one end, and then on the other end,
It's a challenge all around.
All right, these are just some graphs here you'll see, and you can see this is the past 12 years, go all the way back to 2014, 15, where we had 686 K through 12 to 25, 26, where we're at 617. But still, though, what I like is you see we're at 60. We're going in the right direction. Where in a lot of school districts in the state are going in the wrong direction. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care if it's 3, 4, or 5, as long as we're going in the right direction versus the opposite. That's something to say, and it's a good thing for us. So those are just total enrollments over the last 12 years.
Do we have any virtual children come back to the school?
Right now, we're at 4 that have came back.
So we're quite a bit below pre-COVID.
Yeah, yeah. And then this is one I really like. That there's no numbers on here, but you can see it's a 6-year total. You see that, and I'm looking at the elementary here, and you can see the green. It's as high as it's been since before 2021. So we're at elementary is, I think it was 335. Is that what I said? Or yeah, 335. So when I saw this, and I know it's just the colors, but I liked how that green was taller than everything else. So I wanted to show that. And then you see our high school here. It's lower. Uh-oh. Might not be working anymore. There we go. Well, it's lower, but it is higher than the last couple of years there. So, and then pre-K, we stayed pretty average for that. I mean, it's run the mill with one extra there.
How many kids come to us for pre-K and then end up going back to a different district?
So I think this year, and I can only say, I know we had 3 Lone Oak kids that came over that went back, but we also, I think, had 2 Lone Oak kids that came and stayed. But I do know we had 3 that were from Lone Oak that were here and then went back. And I mean, and for the ones that are going back, I would say it's just price. It's much cheaper here than it is over there.
Much. Oh, yeah.
So looking at that chart, that's a really good chart because as the elementary cycles through,
Yes.
it means that we're gonna keep gaining.
Yeah.
If we do a good job with our high school.
Yeah, it'll definitely help there.
Our numbers should continue up.
So, any questions for my portion of it before I turn it over to the building principals and the rest?
Can we have
To
a,
answer your question too about the students, so in elementary, they can have 12 unexcused absences, and we do the letter at 6 days, and then at 10, we do the notifying, but normally at the parent, we do that beforehand. But that just gives you a little bit, and we do fall ins too, I'm pretty adamant about that, on that.
And students that are identified, we have to have a separate programming conference on and file through.
Chief Rain called you?
No, he's called Bonnie, the alarm's still going. Sorry, we have a fire alarm going on. This is our staff, and then we play that video. This is just a video of our staff, it's real quick. Oh, Mr. Fowler,
I'm also trying to do it online.
Is there sound?
yes.
I know, but is Mr. Ballard your sound?
You want
It's
to,
okay if you can't.
but I can put it in the chat.
I don't think we should get out if there's a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at my building at work, I look at each other, our alarm going off.
No sound.
It's okay, Mr. Ballard.
I can hear.
Oh, there it goes. So this is our staff.
Oh, it's good.
right, so that's our staff.
We
have a couple other cute ones too, if you follow us on social media, we're trying to be famous.
Just the atmosphere.
Okay, so this is our new staff, and we already talked about that, and there's our enrollment. We talked about that, so this is just some of the things that I'm trying to go in and do is, specifically this week, I've been going in PLCs as much as I can. I feel like there needs to be 10 of me. But working in on our math pacing and getting us to where we need. I've been pulling in someone from Wilbur Mills for science to help with Open Sci-Ed, which is what we're working on because they haven't been really introduced with the science curriculum, and it's just as tested as ELA and math. And so we just got a $10,000 grant to get all of our science supplies. Ms. Goodrich helped with me applying with that, and so I think that's very good because we didn't have that there, so that's helped. Our win time is what I need. That's math and literacy, and I've kind of talked to y'all about this. This is kind of like what's not happening in Tier 1 and how to remediate in Tier 2. Bison Academy is Tier 3, and so that's like an RTI, which is response to intervention, and so that's like what they don't understand on grade level, and that's where our dyslexia interventionists, our math interventionists are pushing in. I've got our activity teachers, what I can pushing in, because that has helped completely. I feel like will help with building, and raising their scores, in literacy and math. Weekly check-ins, that's going in on my PLCs, like what do you need? And I have those scheduled each day. We talked about today, so K through 2, the scores are being released, and so building those individual reading plans and working on that and how I can help them build those together. 2 focus walks per 9 weeks, that's the observations. I've almost went through all my teachers and going through and kind of looking at, where do they need to work in and giving them feedback and having them do reflections on, how they could have improved their lessons. Unit plans, that's something that I have them do. That's like, it's a big lesson plan basically over a unit, so it's like a 15-day challenge with the PLC process, that professional learning community, having assessment every 15 days. Kind of tied to, so what their objectives are, how they relate to the standards, and then how they're going to assess them, and it shows their pacing, and they have to, basically show me how they're going to get through the end of the units. And just basically helping them realize that, you don't teach front to back. You've got to look at your blueprints that I've provided for them, and like their Eureka math pacing and hitting on those essential standards, because essentially you can't cover every single thing front to back. And that's not really good teaching. It's going in there and picking apart those standards. This is our Bison Elementary matrix. You don't have to, I'm not gonna make you click on these, but I will share this presentation with you as well. And so what that is B is being your best, I is including others, S is self-control, O is optimism, being optimistic, and N is neighborly. And so that's how they get their Bison bucks, and they turn those into a little raffle bucket that I have at the front of my building. And then we have a big store too that I posted on Facebook too. And some of you have helped, and I appreciate you so much for donating to our store. Then they have student rewards. I have this PowerPoint built, and that is what they can redeem their tickets for. I come on a Bison Hangout is what I call it at 8:15. It was 8:30, 8:15 on Wednesdays, and sometimes Coach Green pops on. We have a Sigma student for 5th and 6th grade, which helps with behavior. I talk about our student of the month, our staff of the month, the K through 2 student of the month, the 3 through 6 student of the month, and then I talk about kind of like what's going on and announce their names, who's coming down to redeem their tickets, and what they got that week. And then I also do a riddle. Whoever gets the riddle, I usually do 2 riddles. Whoever can, get on there quick enough and answer it, then they get 10 minutes of
I
free
think
time
some of
that
them know
day.
the riddle, but because I haven't never won yet.
I think they do. I think they kind of have it ready to go, like we're at ChatGPT's it or something. This is going to be released here pretty soon. So what I'm going to do is grades 1 through 3 who grew a level 3 or 4 in at least one testing area on the Atlas Summative, which they're about to have those results. We'll get to go on a reward trip. I'm hoping Chuck E. Cheese. And then 4 through 6, students who grew at least one performance level in a testing area, or they scored a 3 or 4 in one summative area, or they increased their score by at least 10 points. So they have 3 different ways. And that I'm hoping to take them to Topgolf. This is my Bison one-stop shop, and you'll have access to this where you can see this. And I've uploaded all kinds of things. I have different categories of like what they can use behaviorally. I have student reflections in there, all different things to try to help with behavior, where they submit the referrals, where our handbook is, where our staff handbook, where our student handbook is. It's just a one-stop shop so they don't have to search everywhere for it. This is just a little bit about beginning of the year screeners. So the data that I just got is some of their screeners, or well, for K through 2. So what it looks like is it's gonna tell us potentially whether a student is at risk or not at risk. And basically you have to do progress monitoring, you upload those assessments. It'll flag and show you what testlets we have to do on the kids, whether that might be letter ID they don't get, which is letter ID being your ABCs, and then phonemic awareness, phonological awareness. And then we have been doing that. I kind of talked to y'all about the assessments that I'd already pre-built with our literacy and math interventionists. We worked together so that we could already go in, and because it's so late, and hopefully next year they're going to have, we'll get those results immediately. We won't be waiting this long to be able to, push in that info where we progress monitor. We can pretty much check that box that they're not at risk anymore, because that's really important in what's going to happen with third grade promotion and retention. So this kind of tells you a little bit about how the Atlas and how our scores, like how our letter grade comes from. So it's with achievement, whether they've scored a 3 or a 4, growth in all, and growth of the lowest 25%. You're going to get the most. You're going to get the most growth and help with your letter grade in your 2 area. Your students are a number 2. And this kind of breaks it down just a little bit more. This kind of shows you kind of what an overall growth calculation is for. So we actually, to give you the exact number, so we're at 386.84, which is in the C area, and you can see that's in that first column. So we're obviously shooting for a B. So we've got a lot of growth to make, but we are working. We're making changes where I think that we will improve. This just kind of tells you like the different descriptors and what a level 1 is, a level 2 is, level 3, level 4. Kind of like thinking of an A, B, C, or D, I would say. And this shows you, I've attached our Atlas data comparison, kind of what our kids scored last year, what they scored this year. Right now we have no current data on the 3rd graders, which that is now being released. And this I attached for you too, kind of you can see like what they scored last year, how many 4s and 3s and 2s and 1s we had compared to this year in all those different subject areas. And I did that for 5th grade too, so you can see that. And I'll be happy to also show you all those if you want me to at some point. This is basically the same thing, but efficient. So this is attendance, looking at August versus September. So you can see attendance is a little bit of an issue, so less than or equal to 90% of attendance. You can see we were at, I think that's 68, I can't see from there. 66, I'm blind even with contacts. 66 and 74. Okay, and then that's by month comparison, and then this is a graph to show you by year. So you can see September 2023 being in the orange and in the red being 2024, and then 2025 being in the blue, and so you can see we've actually improved. Then behavior by month, so this is so number of students with 1 or more ODRs, and then you can see, so obviously this month was a little bit more, but you can see we've actually went down by year. And this is a major ODR, and you can kind of see those numbers, so we went.
Have you explained to them what the ODR stands for?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Office discipline.
Office discipline, yeah.
So it's an office write-up.
Like a write-up, yeah, and that's major or minor, anything coming through. So we've improved in all the areas, but if you look at it by year, it might have went up a little bit by month, but we've improved yearly, for sure. And then you can see the comparison here, it's on the same slide. So 11 in August of 2025, so we had 12 in September. And then, but by year, we actually have went down tremendously from 33 major to now 12, 65 total number, now we're at 32, where we would have been in 2023, 2024, so we've improved in every area. There's the staff of the month, and now it's high school.
Thank you for the
Thank
charts.
you.
Thank you so much.
Okie dokie. So this is just a little breakdown of my certified and classified employees at the high school. I've got 21 certified teachers, a librarian, a dyslexia specialist, a dean of students, one special education LEA, which I claim her as mom. She's housed at my building. One counselor, one principal. I've got 4 cafeteria workers, which I think maybe now, well, I guess with this Carrie it is 4. 2 secretaries, 2 paraprofessionals, so I've got an ISS para, and then I've got Miss Sarah, who's our virtual lab coordinator. I've got 1 sped paraprofessional, 1 sped clerk, 1 technology assistant, and 1 technology coordinator. I claim him too since he's in my building. 1 nurse and 1 school resource officer, and I'm so happy to say that I love having Deputy Maples around. Like, it's nice that he's there and he's there consistently, and the kids know him and things like that. So, all in all, I've got 40 folks in my building. Moving right along into scores. So these were our AP scores. I know I told you this maybe back in July, but if you look there on the left-hand side, you have those AP tests. And then across the top are the scores. So you scored a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like in English language arts, I had 6 kids score 1, 4 kids score 2, and 1 kid scored 3. So we did have 4 3s and 1 4 this year, which I'm super pumped about because last year we had none, I don't think. So improvement there is always good. Moving right along, so Atlas scores for 2025, so this is our math, these are overall, so I do have these broken down into grade levels, and we'll look at that in just a second, but this is just overall math. So we've got 49% level 1, 30 level 2, 17% level 3, and 4% level 4. ELA 26%. In level 1, 49 in level 2, 22 in level 3, and 4% in level 4. And then science, 30% level 1, 42% level 2, 21% level 3, and 7% in level 4. I do have a little bit of a comparison, and I want to highlight our 7th graders who are actually 8th graders this year. They have made significant improvements. So if you look from there in the orange, that's the 23-24. So those are the number of students, or the percentage of students who scored a levels 3 and 4. So level 3 and 4, that would be proficient, okay? We'd get points for those kids on our point scale. If you look at that, so I had in 7th grade 13%, scored a level 3 or 4, and then in 24-25, 32%, so that was an increase of 19%. So if you look there, we've only had 3 areas where we actually decreased in that number, and everything else is growth. And some of it, 1% growth, 2% growth, I mean, that's not a lot of growth, but at least we're moving in the right direction there, so that's exciting to me. So this is our, I know Dr. Bratton showed you this is our letter grade and our cut scores, and this is going to make a lot more sense. So if you look, a while ago you were looking at the elementary school grading scale, but you need to look over to the right hand side where you've got the high school grading scale. I'll show you in just a second, but so this is a 9-cell approach, so each cell up there is worth 100 points. So we've got 900 points that we could score out of. So if you look at the achievement, that's in blue, so that's basically how many students scored a level 3 or a 4 on the Atlas. And then you have the growth of all students. So are these students meeting their growth, their individual growth targets? So on the Atlas, each kid has a growth target that they need to hit. So if those kids hit that, then you get points for them. And then the growth of the lowest 25%, so are those students who are the furthest behind growing. And all of those are lumped into one, and you get a score on those two. Then at the high school, which is not applicable to the elementary and middle school, you have our graduation rate. So the 4-year graduation rate, which, is usually, we usually do pretty good on our graduation rate, but like, it's a delayed rate. So like right now, our graduation rate this year was 92%, and that's because 2 years ago, because you look at a cohort from 2 years prior, we had a couple kids that, and this was like during, after COVID and stuff, that did not graduate, that dropped out, and so that really hit us. And it hits us hard. because
Also, the homeschool kids in each of those grades affect us as well, if we don't keep them.
If we don't keep them, I have found out recently though, all we have to do is submit this piece of paper that says their intent to homeschool, and they'll take us off, so I'm glad, I know, yes, yes. And then you have readiness, and that's the big one, that's the, students graduating on time with the merit or distinction. That's something that we are working really, really hard at the high school to make sure that our kids who are in those pathways, pass those certificate tests, whether that be welding or getting the 3 college, or the 9, I think it's 9 or 12 college, credit hours before they graduate. There's a whole lot list, but, in our CTE department, that's what they're supposed to do, is make sure that their kids are getting those certifications. So our school grade, we were a 437.98. So if you go back to this one, you look there, that is in that C range. So we're at 437, and we needed to be at 457.11 to be a B school. So we're not far. This number down here in the parentheses on the Carlisle side is what we were last year. Okay, so we were at 397.48 last year. This year we increased to 437.98. And that's the state average over there on the left-hand side. And then when we get this presentation to you, you can click on those links down at the bottom, and it gives you a breakdown of what we scored in each of those categories over there on the right. Our proposals to correct deficiencies at the high school, PD for teachers, we're working a lot on how the brain learns, so strategies for brain science, and making sure that we are implementing into our classroom those strategies that are proven to work, research-based strategies. Specific tier 2 and tier 3 times during school hours, making sure that we're pulling kids when they need to be pulled during school. It's hard to get kids before and after school because there's just so many things that they're involved in, and so we really have to make time to do that during the day. Weekly check-ins with teachers, 2 focus walks per 9 weeks, lead teacher designation opportunities. So I've got 4 teachers right now who are going through 2 different lead teacher pathways for leadership roles within the school. So once they pass that this year, they'll be able to get that designation and put that on their license, and so that'll be great for not only them, but for us too. Once they get that designation, that will allow them to have student teachers in the classroom, and so we'll be able to say, hey, like, send some folks our way. Also this year, I don't know why it's not up there, but lesson plans are something new to the high school that I'm making them do this year. We're using Planbook, which is an online way, an online version of a lesson plan, but it's been really good. It's something that teachers at the high school haven't had to do in a long time, so we've got those going too. And that's it for me. Questions?
I think I do both. Just go ahead and tell y'all. All right, so this is short and sweet, and it's not cute and colorful. At the elementary, my staff, I have 3 certified teachers. We added 1 this year for self-contained. And then we have our 2 inclusion / it's not really co-taught because they're not in there the entire period for math and literacy. And then I have 1 personal care paraprofessional at elementary. At high school, I have 2 certified teachers. We're co-taught 7-10, and then we'll pull out 11-12. We are ahead of the state schedule for inclusion. We began earlier than most schools in our area, and we roll up a grade each year. And then I have 1 instructional paraprofessional. And then there's me, and then I have a Medicaid billing and due process clerk, it's the same person. Okay, so numbers, I'm gonna tell you, they don't make sense. because a lot of our kids are seen for multiple things. We have 101 total identified students that are school age, that's up to. We have 17 kids, we pay for early childhood services based on the prior year. And it's up 3, so we serve 17 preschool age, birth to 5. They're served through the co-op, so that's OT, that's PT, that's speech, that's developmental, and that's behavior. By disability, we have 33 with SLD, that's down 6. Specific learning disability means that they have a deficit in one area or another, math, literacy, processing, adaptive. And that one area can affect multiple areas. 29 speech and language impaired, we have a lot more kids. We are at 45 that are served for speech and language, but we have 29 that has caused their deficit, so that's their main disability category. 12 OHI, so other health impaired is kind of that catch-all group, ADD, ADHD, any type of diagnosis, anything else. So if they have an academic or an achievement or an adaptive deficit, and they're not autistic, they're not intellectually disabled, they're not specific learning disability based on the achievement gap, they fall into that other health impaired. And then we have 9 students that have been diagnosed medically with autism, and then we have 8 students who have an intellectual disability, and that is typically an IQ under 55. Okay, we have a whole bunch of kids with literacy deficits. That can be comprehension, decoding, encoding, written expression. We have 57 students with math support. That's problem solving, that's numeracy, that's one-to-one correspondence. Science and social studies support, that's usually our students that are on the lower end achievement-wise, but they have the behavioral skills and they have the knowledge to participate in class. They just need help expressing it. We have 46 students, sorry I was off one, that receive speech services, 17 in OT, which is fine motor, 13 in PT, which is gross motor. I have 1 student receiving nursing support, that's feedings, 2 feedings. And then I have 1 student receiving specialized transportation. We have had to break out the van for transportation. And we thank Ms. Betts for that because she does take care of that for us. Okay, so 504s for me are new. We currently have 77 students with a 504 plan. They're both for academic and or health factors. We are moving to the SEAS program, which is a platform to house all of that, make sure we're updating them annually, help me kind of keep track of conferences and communication. And then I have 3 students also in the process of referral for that. Any questions? I know that was a lot.
You may do it, you want.
Can't do both.
Thank you, Ms. Towers.
Thank you.
So just to make your life a little bit more difficult, Arkansas actually passed Act 504 for technology. So there's also another one called Act 846. So last year the board approved the cybersecurity standards, procedures, and protocols. I can now say that they've been created, they've been implemented in the districts. We've upgraded all of our computers to Windows 11. The ones that could not be updated, we can no longer use. K-12 actually sent us an email saying they won't even allow them on the network. So if they can't be updated, we've actually recycled them and the information has been destroyed. And that's been done to cybersecurity standards. We have new servers that we've done up for the cybersecurity standards. I'm expecting probably a couple more, which will not cost the district anything, hopefully. So major projects, we had a new phone system done over the summer. It's called TeleCloud. It's saving the district how much money a month? Like 500?
500.
Which does add up. We also added new intercoms that were desperately needed at the elementary. They all work currently. I have not told Green this, but there's a couple that I would like to add call buttons to, which would make it a little bit better for the districts. Permanent internet has also been installed at the press box. Shout out to Hoover and Connor, they really were helpful with that as well. We set up that automation server to help with our curriculums and a lot of other stuff that happens behind the scenes. All thermostats that can be added to the network have been added, which means that they can't drop it below the designated temperature to help with the HVAC problem. Over the summer, we set up classrooms and curriculums, and this sounds a little weird. It's actually a continuity site notebook. What this means is it's a notebook that I could pass off to the next person, and they could potentially do my job. Lucas did not create one. He did train the person before me, but that training did not pass along. So if I were to leave or something were to happen to me, the district is in a little bit better of a position than before I stepped in this position. Future projects, we're not done with cybersecurity. There's 2 more years for cybersecurity. I also am wanting to look into getting backup internet because all of our systems, phones, intercoms, they are based on the internet, but it would be E-rate funded, which you said we're at 70%. That means level 1 stuff is now at 90% reimbursement, and level 2 is at 85%. So backup power upgrades, we have some really aging backup power for our technology, and in multiple buildings, it's causing outages pretty frequently, especially the 5-6 building. Additional automation is going to be added to help make it other teachers' lives easier, and we're going to phase in a replacement cycle for technology, pending funds if it's available. So that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions?
Is the designated temperature like 74, so it never kicks on, or?
No, what?
He would have to answer
We
both
dropped it to
things.
68, but I think the first thing was 70.
But I will let you know, with the doors closed,
It does help.
mine stays on about 72, 73, and that tends to be, I'm comfortable in most classrooms. There's a couple where I take my park out, but I think that teachers have realized, I know I realized that just not going in and out of the door and trying to keep it closed as much as possible
I do
has
think it's
really helped.
A lot of the teachers, when they saw Mr. Jason walking down the hallways, the door was left open for some reason, you could hear it slam. It's not like we're coming.
Thank you, Mr.
Right.
Fowler.
Thank you so much.
Well, that is all she wrote. If y'all have any other questions.
Can we get a hard copy of this?
Yeah, I'm gonna, so just text me what email address you want me to send it to, and I'll send it to that email address, and then we're gonna also upload it to our, webpage too, our website.
I got a question for the building operators. So, y'all talking about lesson plans. Has that been an issue with teachers, or like workload, or anything really
From
out of the ordinary? Or I mean, just
No.
in general?
No, well, for the high school building, and it's just been, they just haven't had to do them. And I implemented it this year. Now, I'm not making my teachers do something crazy, like I just have them, I require them to put the standard, the activity, and the assessment. So
So how
basically
is
what they're
it
teaching,
tracking before?
there was nothing.
Okay.
We did unit plans, let me rephrase.
Okay.
Teacher did unit plans, so it was more of an overall, like this is kind of what I'm gonna be teaching for these few weeks or whatever, but I have it more on a daily basis, well, it is a daily basis now for my
Do they do that monthly, weekly?
So my rule is that when I walk into your classroom and I pull up lesson plan book, it should be in there, and if it's not, then, you know, that's another thing that we deal with, but, Because some teachers like to plan a week ahead, and that's fine, and some teachers like to get their stuff done, you know, like they teach today, and then, you know, later on they'll go in and get their lesson plan done for tomorrow, because they just don't know where they're gonna be and what they're
Yeah.
gonna get to, so that doesn't bother me.
And I can kind of tell you, just with the curriculums that we have purchased and we are using, they are scripted.
Mhm.
They are, everything is right there laid out for you, and I was always that teacher, why am I reinventing the wheel? There's my lesson plan right there, let me write, this is what we're doing. So it's not that they're not planning at all, it may look that way because there's not a lesson plan. But all your notes are kind of in your teacher's manual with all of your
I mean,
things.
But see, I don't have access to, I mean, I
But
do,
she-
I-
yes, if
it's
someone's
hard for
coming
me
and
as
serving, I'm
somebody
using
to
my
come in
book.
and say, okay, exactly, what are you doing exactly? So that's why I tended to go a little less with exactly what I wanted them, so that I could see, because in reality, it's not, it is for them, but it's for me too,
Yeah.
you know, so.
I mean, I ask that just for the fact that it's not anything that teachers are having to spend a Saturday and Sunday or till ten
It
o'clock
may
at
if they
night.
want to.
I mean, if
I
they
mean,
wanted to,
yeah.
but it's not something that's causing that sort of like stressful.
If you've been in a grade for multiple years, you should know your curriculum like the
Yeah.
back of your hand, and you should be able to put it down on paper.
Do we still do tests? Is that a good thing?
Test, TESS, yes, that's, when we reference those focus walks and teacher check-ins, those are done through tests.
I make mine write the standard on the board too, so I know what I'm coming into with their
Yeah.
teaching.
Have you had any problems collecting that?
I've had some teachers, like when I've gone in and checked that they weren't done, and I'll just say, hey, your plan book's not done, can you make sure you get that updated? And I keep a running record of, you know, how often I have to do that, or if it's with multiple teachers or whatever that is. So, I think I've maybe sent 1 or 2 emails this year so far, so it's not been a real big issue for me.
We appreciate you.
And thanks all of y'all.
Motion to adjourn or second, the one Jeremy's already made, whichever.
All right.
Jeremy?
All in favor, we'll adjourn at 7:43.